Hi there, my name's Sawzin. For years my colleagues and students have been after me to make a video like this one. We all love playing the cello most of the time. It's an expressive, passionate, and very physical instrument. But what listeners and players love the most is the special vocal sound that we can create. It should feel physically satisfying and fun when we play. We use our entire bodies, our back, our shoulder blades, even our feet, to perform effortlessly. This video is an introduction to a few of my concepts designed to create a healthy, relaxed technique, beautiful sound, and expressive vibrato. That's a lot to do in 9 minutes, but I'm going to give it a shot. See you soon. Here are a few examples of things that we can do to improve the sound and the ease of our playing. The first thing I'm going to show you is just playing using the bow and not using my body in the way that I've just described. You can see I'm just using my arm. Now, if I add my back and my shoulders and even my feet, even without the left hand in the right position, watch what happens. I'm creating the bow change ahead of time by moving my shoulders. Now here we go with the left hand. Maybe I'll use this note now. I'm going to play at first with very bad position and the elbow way too low, and I'm going to experiment with the change in the height and the placement of my elbow, my wrist, and my hand to see how I can get the best sound. Now you hear the difference. Now I'll do that, and this time I will add vibrato. I'll start here and then I'll come up. As soon as everything is lined up, the sound changes. Now it's also important that these joints be relaxed. These joints are these bass joints here, and it's important that those are relaxed too. That really helps a lot because these joints, as soon as they're stiff, the sound completely changes. Now you can also change the placement of your arm and your hand depending on what finger you're using. So for instance, if I'm playing a G and I go to an F sharp and an F and an E, if I turn my hand back this way, I can actually get a better balance on my lower fingers. And then going the other way is the same thing in the reverse. What also happens is the arm weight is transferred completely from finger to finger. When I'm on one finger, say a G, all of my weight is on that finger, and it's even helpful, instead of having my fingers out like this, to have them a little closer to the note that I'm vibrating on. I can actually vibrate slower if my fingers are out like this, but to get a more focused sound, that works better. The other thing I wanted to show you quickly is another way of finding the best sound by using pizzicato. So if I play a note, a C, and my arm is too low and I try to pizz, there's a little bit of a ring but not much. If I add a better placement of my arm, what I've shown you before. You can hear the difference. This is also useful to start the vibrato quickly. So if you play a note and you've got that pizzicato pop to it, if you start the note the same way, has a nice resonant start to it. It's also great to use when you're going to a lower note from a higher finger. So you can hear the difference. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is a little warm-up that I do that involves shifting and this internal-external rotation that we've talked about before. So I'm going to start in half position on E with my arm balanced over that note. So you can see that rotation. Then I'm going to come up to the higher position with this elbow arc that looks like this. I'm turning a little bit to my right, almost as if I was walking. And as I come up, I'm going to lean a little bit on the left side of my body to counterbalance my bow. So it looks like this. You can also do it on a lower string. I'm going to use a little bit more of my shoulder blades, and my elbow is going to come around a little bit because my thumb is going to be closer to the A string. And you can tell that I'm really turning now. Now if you shift higher, all of this happens in the same way, but now the elbow is going to come more forward, and I'm also going to be turning even more. So it looks like this. This is in slow motion to show you. Start on E. Okay, now I've turned my arm to get to that note. That's the external rotation. And the final line of my elbow looks like this. The next thing I'm going to show you will be a surprise. See you soon. Here's a tune I wrote for my students as an etude. It's called the Oily Weasel Blues. And the first part is pizzicato, and it involves exaggerations of some of the things that I've already shown you. The second part. A couple of different kinds of shifts, very different speeds, different contexts. Here's the third part, a little higher. Stay tuned for other videos, including the sheet music, detailed performance instructions, and backing track for the infamous Oily Weasel Blues you just heard. I will also be offering a video called The Kickboxing Cellist. It's not a kickboxing class, but a cello masterclass using kickboxing techniques to help cellists learn how to connect their upper and lower body. This creates a natural, efficient kinetic chain, and yes, I am a kickboxer.